That's how it starts. The fever, the rage, the feeling of powerlessness that turns good men cruel.
Tell me, do you bleed? You will. 9 billion names of Pod.
From Atlanta,
The only major American city that hasn't been destroyed while being saved by superheroes.
it's the 9 Billion Names of Pod with Dan Bauman and Michael Reed. I'm Dan Bauman.
I'm drunk on Granny's peach tea.
So let's talk about some stuff.
Harumph.
All right, this is going to be an interesting one because I think we went and saw Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice yesterday, and I believe we have varying opinions on said film, and we've been gearing up for this one for a long time.
Oh yeah,
I remember our first episode we were talking about.
It's happening.
It's happening.
There's been 27 years of teasers and trailers and hints and yeah.
And
we finally saw it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna let you go first because you expressed your displeasure.
I have thoughts. Well, let me start out by saying that Affleck did fine.
Okay.
I got no problems with Affleck. Although that chin and that cowl, anybody, it's the same. Are you Superman? Oh, you have the glasses on. No, you're not Superman.
Right.
I mean, it's that suspension of disbelief because that chin is a chin you could recognize a mile off, even if you have the rest of the face covered up.
The thing is, I think the conceit there is going to be that if you see that chin, it's going to be in the dark while it's beating you up. So
yeah,
it's not going to be walking down the street and
right. And of course, this goes back, like I said, to the Clark Kent with the glasses. He looks exactly the same. Just put on the glasses, and I thought you were Superman.
Yeah, even DC Comics hasn't figured out a way around that. It's dumb.
It's a given. You just go, okay,
Yep.
I got it. Humans are stupid, especially Americans. So there we go. That being said, Zack Snyder has not redeemed himself at all in my eyes.
Okay.
I think the film is an absolute fucking mess. Now, I will readily admit there is probably a ton of geek stuff in there from the actual comics that makes someone like you who have read that stuff or at least knows about it go, oh, they did that. Oh, there's that. Me, it just looked like a big fucking mess.
Yeah.
And that is a legitimate complaint because with so many of the other films like the Nolan Batmans, and you don't have to know anything to enjoy the story in of what it is.
I agree.
There's so much stuff in here. It was made strictly for the fanboys and the geek, and that's all well and good. In this case, I have not read, The Dark Knight or Batman Year One or Blabdy Blue or whatever the hell else is out there. So a lot of this stuff I don't know about. Now, I've done a little bit of reading post-film to see that they, I saw that they introduced, Aquaman for a very hot second.
A very hot second.
I mean, yeah, we got the Flash there with a little time something, and they're leading up to the final battle or war thing from the future. But I know that now, watching the film, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Is he Inception in a dream within a dream? What the fuck is this about?
Yeah.
And that is a huge complaint for me because the films like I said previously, the Batman, this, you don't have to know fuck all to get in and go, that was awesome. Oh, that's what that meant? Oh, that's nice too. But without that knowledge, you can still enjoy it perfectly and have no problems with it. This film, to enjoy it on a level that I think it was intended to be enjoyed at, you need a primer. You need a primer.
Yeah.
And
I completely agree with you. I thought we were going to disagree, but you're absolutely right. As a movie, it's kind of a mess.
Oh, it's a fucking mess.
It's kind of a mess. But, see, I guess that's the double-edged sword of the whole thing is giving the nerds what they want, but making it all relatable. Now, Marvel's got the lock on that. Marvel cracked that code with
that's the
Guardians
thing.
and Ant-Man.
I have never had any of those problems with the Marvel films
Right.
because I haven't read that stuff either.
Right.
And I was able to watch that and go, oh, that's interesting. Hey, what was that little bit about? I didn't quite get that. Oh, okay. But it didn't make me go, I'm lost. What the fuck is happening?
Yep.
You know, is Bruce having a dream within a dream? Is it real? Is what's happening? I don't, what the, So, and of course, half of that, well, a lot of that I put on Zack Snyder, and the other half I put on the writer.
Yeah.
I don't know who the writer
check
is.
the IMDb. Wow. I can't even talk.
Well,
check the IMDb. See who wrote.
When it comes
Dawn
to
of
Batman
Justice
versus
first place.
Superman, you got the BM part pretty close there.
Yeah. For me, the way I look at it is, yeah, it was a mess, but I saw the potential. You know, we have been like begging for a good Batman movie for so many years. Like the Nolan stuff is good, but there's so much that's wrong that it takes away. It's like, okay, that's okay for what it is. This is the closest we've ever got. I think Affleck is for the nerds.
In the portrayal of Batman, yeah. I mean, there's a little bit more of that kind of dark intensity that Affleck brought to the role,
right?
Where it's like, if it's even a 1% possibility, we have to treat it. I mean, he was like, I'm on this shit. And they actually did something that was very smart. They showed Bruce Wayne's view of the events of what was it? That was in
that was Man of Steel.
That was no. Well, yeah, that's right. The end of Man of Steel.
Yeah.
So you got some. That's why he has such a hard on for Superman. Like he's got to go down.
Yeah.
He saw what happened, and I get that, and that's good. That brings you into Bruce's head. A brand new Batman. Boom, you got that.
Right, and I'm so glad. I mean, you do. Okay, we are gonna get a little spoilery, but
we're gonna get huge spoiler. That's right. We better spoiler announce the whole thing.
We'll put it in
because this is coming out just after opening weekend.
Yeah, so
we're dicks, but we're not that big of dicks.
We didn't post this Friday.
Yeah.
The opening sequence, the Batman origin, which was like they got it out of the way, and you have to, unfortunately.
They had to do that to it pays off kind of ish when spoiler huge, I'm serious, when Batman's about to kill Superman.
Right.
It pays off. But just before that, the whole I fell down a hole. Now there's bats, and now they're rising me up by swirling. Fuck that.
Well, it's a dream. I mean, it's the nightmare that he has every night, which is his parents getting killed. I'm on board with that. I can get behind that. You know, because I was like, what's going on? What's going on?
But the thing is that his parents did get shot.
Yeah.
But did he fall down a hole and get risen up by aloft by bats?
He didn't get risen aloft, but he fell down the hole into the Batcave.
And then rise up like a Jesus.
No, that's the dream part of it. That's where it's a dream part of it.
Because, well, we have things that happened and things that didn't happen, all kind of, and it's not really established.
He did say, though, I mean, the dream ends the same way, and he's, but going back to that, okay, David S. Goyer wrote the story for Batman Superman. He's written Batman Begins and Man of Steel. He's very deep in the DS.
I never give too much shit to the person who writes the story.
Right.
It's the person who executes that story into
screenplay.
a workable script.
Right.
Is where I would have trouble with because Lucas writes a hell of a treatment. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
that's awesome. And then
horrible dialogue.
And then he writes the dialogue, and you go, "Nope, executed poorly."
Poorly, yes.
And it's just and they're basically trying to launch like 9,000 DC characters in one film, and I'm like, you really needed a couple. I mean, Aquaman, I think, should come first. The Wonder Woman standalone. I think the Wonder Woman standalone will come first before Justice League.
Yes, next year. Next
so,
summer.
I mean, they're just trying to set up too many dominoes to go, come on, Marvel, we're catching up to you. Like, take your fucking time. This,
That's the problem.
I knew this was like the linchpin film, like kind of like the first Iron Man was the, Avengers were going to kind of...
Well, the difference there was they made Iron Man just to make Iron Man, and they tagged on the little Sam Jackson thing at the end as a cool little thing, as kind of a see what happens.
We could do.
And then
And the film did well.
And when it did huge, and when it did huge, once it blew up, they were like, okay, let's do Captain America and really start putting this stuff in motion. And then they put out Captain America, then they put out Thor, and then they put out Iron Man 2, and building and building and building. And
and if DC does that, I mean, they've hinted, I think we should find others like us. I think we're going to have to fight. All right,
yeah. Well, no, there's no hinting at all. It's like, this is what we're doing. We're
well,
building
no,
a
what
universe.
I'm saying is that at the end of the film, it's like, okay, and as long as they have it, they got to have the Aquaman, they've got to have the Wonder Woman film, which sounds like they will.
Yep.
Build some other individual films.
They're doing a Flash movie as well.
Good before they do the Justice League film.
Well,
Seriously, you had 3 Iron Mans, 2 Captain Americas, or 1 Captain before the first Avengers film?
2.
Was it 2? Yeah. So there was already ground laid, so that when you jump into when you jumped into Avengers, the backstories were known. I mean, we know what's going on with these people. Go, action, go.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
And
they built it properly.
Right. And if they tried to, I understand they had to do the Batman, like, all right, new Batman, we're going to kind of bring you into his world a little bit, but they executed that pretty deftly and just got it out of the way, like you said. Mm-hmm. They didn't spend the first, 20 minutes of the film going over why Batman is Batman, because we pretty much know that by now. But as far as in the modern storytelling, we don't know the whole story about Wonder Woman. We don't. I mean, according to Batman versus Superman, what we know from the old TV show is, she was there in World War II, and then she was in the 70s. Well, apparently in this one, she did World War I and said, I'm out, screw it, and it's been out of the picture.
Well, here's the thing. In that picture, which is a big spoilery thing in the movie, evidently.
Hints of Watchmen a little bit, tiny bit.
Well, hints of Watchmen, but that picture, it's definitely, I can already see the threads because Chris Pine was in that picture. I mean, everyone was just looking right at her, but next to her was Chris Pine, and he's playing Steve Trevor in the Wonder Woman movie, which is weird because I thought they would bring him into the modern age. So whatever happens in the Wonder Woman movie is going to inform Batman v Superman retroactively. You know what I mean? It's because she says,
or it has informed it.
It already has.
You just don't know how it has.
Yeah, she says, "I walked away from mankind," and she's just immortal.
And that's fine if we find out. How did she get to the point where she walked away? Right. That's the Wonder Woman film. Let's do that. And I've killed things from out of this world before. Let's see a little bit of that.
We're gonna. And I've seen they did a special on CW, They did 2. They kind of did a lead into when it was actually the night they dropped the really awesome Suicide Squad trailer. Right. They did a whole DC night special thing. Kevin Smith hosted it, and they showed little bits and pieces of Batman, Superman, and then they showed a bunch of stuff for Justice League, like just concept art and shit. And they showed footage from the Wonder Woman movie, and it looks great. It looks period, and she's riding a horse, and she's on a train in like the 1910 or whatever it is. And so I was like, okay.
What was World War II? What is it? Like 11 to 16?
So it's around that time,
something like that.
No, World War One.
That's what I'm saying. World War One.
Yeah.
World War II.
World War II.
I'm an American, but I'm a slightly betterly educated American than
So,
who did we fight in World War II? Was it the South? Well, it's always the South, but in this case, it was also Nazis. Anyway.
But the footage of that looks great. And again, it's being directed by Patty Jenkins. It's being directed by a woman. It's like, yes,
nice,
cool, awesome,
good.
Perfect.
It doesn't have to be directed by a woman, but you know what? I'm glad to see a woman directing a film with a woman superhero.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that.
And I thought she was great in Batman Superman. I thought Wonder Woman, she's not in it much, but
yeah, but very understated, not and
the thing that made me most happy is Wonder Woman shouldn't look like a blonde from California with a dark wig on. She's Israeli, and the
actress is.
The actress is. That's what I mean.
Israeli. She's a Wonder Woman of kind of somewhat Greek origins.
Amazon. She's Amazonian. She comes from Themyscira, which is the secret island of the Amazons, and she should have a weird accent, and she should be.
She does have a bit of an
accent. She does, and she should look Mediterranean.
Thank God. Well, yeah. If they had cast a blonde as Wonder Woman, there would have been a revolt from everybody.
Right, but it wasn't whoever A-list actress who's happened to be
I don't even know who who Gal Gadot is.
Yeah, she was in Fast and Furious movies.
I've never
Exactly.
I think I saw the first one and went, I've seen all I need.
But there was a big outcry when she was cast, because they were like, "Who is she?" And she's too skinny and this and that, and they were like, "Oh yeah, she's an actress, but she was in the Israeli army for 3 years, and
So she has some real
she's a
world
badass,
shit.
yeah.
Well, let's face it, every Israeli was in
Exactly.
the Israeli army. It's
Exactly.
compulsory service for I think 2 years.
2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
something
just
like that.
being a citizen.
But I was like, good. She'll look like she knows how to fight, and she was great. I really enjoyed her performance, even as Diana Prince, even just kind of skulking around the background.
Yeah,
and,
just being
besting Bruce Wayne at a couple things here and there.
Yeah, she did do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I got you. Yeah, I stole your hard drive, and yeah, it's in your car.
Now, one of the things that they kind of, I don't want to say tricked you, but a little bit of the trailer editing led you to believe that when Doomsday fires his, nuclear face
Yep.
at Batman, she deflects it with her shield.
She didn't.
She didn't with her fucking bracelets.
That was amazing.
And you got to see the lasso. This ain't just the lasso of, here, it's around you. I must tell the truth.
no,
This
it's
is a badass
that was
lasso.
powerful. Yeah.
I mean, it was holding him, like,
Yep.
his arms to his side.
Yeah, I read one review, and they were like, the image of Wonder Woman holding Doomsday with the thing while Batman is shooting him with kryptonite grenades and Superman is plunging a kryptonite spear into his chest. Is like, that's badass.
It is definitely badass.
There was some...
But let me just
ahead.
continue for a second. So it led you to believe, first of all, that she deflected it with
The shield,
The
yeah.
shield. It was the bracelet. I thought that was very good. That was a very nice touch in the trailer, not to give that away.
because that was way cooler than the shield.
Exactly, because, what is Wonder Woman known for? The bracelets and the lasso. The shield, not as much.
No.
So they didn't give away that, like, oh, you haven't seen anything yet. But the thing, and I think it was you who told me that, maybe they had that cut where Batman puts his hands up, like that's going to protect him against.
Yeah.
And like that could be from something else. Nope.
No, it wasn't.
He put his hands up.
That
like,
was a little disappointing.
Oh shit! And put his hands like.
Yeah.
Really?
That's not Batman.
I mean, are your gloves somehow,
Yeah.
able to repel that? No, you're
Yeah,
dead.
he would have been out of there faster. That was a little un-Batman-ish for me.
Definitely. Now, one complaint that somebody had, and I noticed it during the film, like, but then I went, no, I accept this. Batman did not use a gun.
No.
He used a grenade, like a
gadget.
the gadget
Yeah.
that allows him to take down Superman.
Right.
Because he did not sit there and go pew 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 and kill people.
No.
And someone online was trying to call that out, and I'm like, no, he did not shoot bullets at anybody.
No.
He used a propellant system to get the kryptonite gas onto Superman and later onto Doomsday.
Right.
So the rule of, Batman doesn't use guns still holds.
Well,
Unless I missed something. Did I miss something? I mean, this film it throws so much at you all
Yeah.
the time. I can hardly remember what I watched 3 seconds ago. It's just, ugh.
well, in the alternate future Nightmare, he was shooting people. He was shooting people and killing people.
That is true.
That is true. Now,
Now,
see, I know what that was all about, or at least I know what that is alluding to and foreshadowing. And I could go into deep and explain what all that is if you want.
I've read up a little bit about his winged henchmen and the
the parademons. they're
parademons.
called.
That's it. Yeah,
And
about So I
that's
mean,
a different plane. That's actually a different plane called Apocalypse, ruled by a big bad who is going to be showing up eventually. It's kind of
it's the Thanos.
It's the Thanos
of DC.
Of DC. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. His name is Darkseid, and
Darkseid.
SEID. Yeah,
exactly.
But it's Darkseid, and
And-
I was reading today. I was he was actually Thanos was created after Darkseid, so I was like, so Marvel swiped it. Okay, good. So we're not, but they beat us to the movies.
That's it. That's the thing.
That's
it's
the
like
thing.
Tesla. Who I thought it was.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
But that whole thing, yeah, that's the whole Flash appearance and that. I think that's what they call boom tube, which is how you get to Apocalypse. And so they threw so much stuff into this movie. It's like you said, it's hard to digest it all in one viewing.
Right.
And we saw it. Yeah, I'm glad we saw it yesterday and had time to process a little bit.
If they're setting up, that alternate universe and the and Darkseid, for the Justice League film, good. If they start bringing that shit in,
I don't think so.
In the individual films,
No,
that's
I
gonna
don't.
suck.
They're going to allude to it. I think
that's fine. Allude all you want. I mean,
it's going to be
let all the individual films, coalesce into like, oh my God, this guy we need everybody. Hey, look, we've already introduced Flash, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, Aquaman.
I think we're going to get.
Please, Martian Manhunter. I love Martian Manhunter.
Nope, they're not going to give us Martian Manhunter. He's on TV. He's on Supergirl.
So is Flash.
Yeah. Well, okay. That's a whole other thing. That's the guy, Greg Berlanti, who runs Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow. He should be the guy running the fucking movies. They have explained it all away with the multiverse thing. Different universes, different Earths, which, granted, is a DC thing. They've been doing the multiverse thing for years.
Well, at a certain point, you're like, what can we do?
Right.
Another universe? Great. Let's go back and do that.
My hope is that, you get through, to borrow the Marvel terminology, to get through this phase 1 of movies, get through the Justice League 1 and 2, and then for phase 2, when you get to, your solo Batman movie and your Wonder Woman 2 and your Man of Steel 3 or whatever, then you do Crisis on Infinite Earth and have the TV characters bleed into the movies and all that stuff. Have Grant Gustin from the TV Flash, which is the best show of all the DC stuff at the moment, without a doubt. Supergirl is
a close second. Arrow is it's great. It's super fun.
Not renewed yet.
but CBS just announced they had a couple shows that were already renewed before the new season started, like Big Bang Theory. Of course, they're going to renew that.
Right.
They just announced 11 new shows renewed. Supergirl ain't one of them.
But the scuttlebutt is that it's safe.
Everyone has told me that the show has gotten much, much better.
It has.
It's super fun. It's super fun and it's great. And but that guy is the guy who should be heading the whole DC.
He needs to be the Feige of DC.
Yeah, because he, from day one of Arrow, he's a comic geek from way back, and from when he started Arrow, he just went into the vault and said, okay, can I use this guy? Can I make a reference to this? Can I just pull in everything he could think of and throws it in and makes it work? And Flash, same thing, building upon building, and now it's all crisscrossing over with itself. And actually tomorrow night on Supergirl is the Flash Supergirl crossover.
I've heard that's going to be
and
the actual CW Flash with the CBS Supergirl.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay,
it's Grant Gustin. It's him. It's
good.
And it's going to tie into Flash somehow. And the sneaky prick that he was, it was announced, it was the big rumor from the whole year once Supergirl got on the air. It was we're going to cross over with Arrow and Flash, and CBS was like, no, that's impossible. And everyone was like, yeah, it's got to happen. It finally gets announced. Yep, it's a go. They got pictures of doing the thing. That same week on Flash, in this season of Flash, no spoilers, he has been hopping between Earth 1 and Earth 2. And when he jumps between Earth 1 and Earth 2, they've been using it to show little flashes, well, pardon the pun, little flashes, images of things. And they showed the first time he did it in series 1, they showed the Flash Museum, which is a thing in the comics, and they showed a different alternate. They showed Killer Frost, who is another character, and they showed a bunch of stuff. This year, when they did it, when he jumped through, they showed the '90s Flash, John Wesley Shipp. They dropped a little thing of that.
Maybe that's Earth 3. You don't know.
Don't know.
That could be Earth 997.
But he's basically saying, yes, all of it happened. The Flash, Adam West, I bet Adam West happened in some way, in a weird cartoony Batmite universe. It could work if they're doing the parallel.
I can just see in the Batman standalone film, they go through the universe, and there's Adam West doing the Batusi, and Affleck just shaking his head going, what the fuck was I thinking?
But they show a flash of what's called the Legion of Superheroes. There was a ring that they have, which is a whole other thing. But boom, there was a little picture of Supergirl flying. I was like, they did it. They tied it in. Now,
are they going to be able to tie Supergirl in with Justice League in the films?
Well, that's the thing. Who knows? which Earth is it? You know,
which Earth is it? And it pains me that some great things that could happen can't, because rights were given and things were signed. And
well,
I mean, obviously you got to stick to your agreements, but you know, there's a thing that NBC and I think ABC has done. NBC more recently, they will take two of their shows and have like SVU. They go and they talk. You know, and they bring them together. That's within the network. That's a lot easier.
Yeah, the CW stuff is
right.
all.
I mean, can Jessica Jones show up on The Flash? She should be able to.
No, she's Marvel. She'll show up on.
Oh, that's right, Flash is DC.
Yeah, she would show up on Agents of
S.H.I.E.L.D. or something like
the
that.
Avengers movie. Well,
Right,
the,
exactly.
the big rumor with that on that side of the pond is Jessica Jones. What they're setting up on the TV stuff is Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and
Luke Cage is about to come out.
That's about to come out, and Danny Rand, Iron Fist, like a kind of a ninja kind of guy. He's going to get a series on Netflix. That's going to culminate on Netflix in a Defenders series, which is all of them together fighting a thing. And then the big hope or rumor is that when we get to the Infinity War movies, everybody shows up. Guardians of the Galaxy, Daredevil, all the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the whole thing.
That's going to be an expensive movie.
It's going to be insane. Well, it's going to be two giant movies.
Yeah,
it's going to be a 6-hour epic.
Look at the box office
Yeah.
of the first Avengers film. It was enormous.
Oh, over $1 billion.
So
or
it's
close
like,
to
it's
2.
like, it'll be an expensive movie. It'll be worth it.
Well, and Disney.
No. I know that, but I meant the cast too. That's going to be expensive.
Yeah. But
Great
Disney's got the money. They're not hurting.
No, they bought
No,
everything.
between Marvel and Star Wars, they're doing
Zootopia
okay.
is doing huge. Zootopia is doing huge. I really want to see it. It's supposed to be really.
what
It's
is that?
It's the new animated movie they got out, and it looks great. And everyone says it's amazing. And it was number 1 at the box office the last 3 weeks. I mean, it'll get knocked out by Batman this week, but it'll be number 2.
Yeah.
But
It beat Deadpool.
yeah, knocked Deadpool to 3.
Yeah,
last week.
I wouldn't expect Deadpool to be the biggest grossing superhero flick of the year. It'll be up there.
No, but I mean, it's been out long enough.
I mean, just because it's R-rated, that does cut into the box office a little bit, because the kids, it's not a kids' film, and that's a
Right.
huge market.
It's still doing
but
big,
the
huge
adults
business.
more than made up for. It's a successful film on its own.
Yeah.
It's just not going to break massive records.
Right. What
It broke some records, but just for an R-rated film.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
thing-
all that's arbitrary anyway. I mean, it's just money. But what I hope on that end is that they, if they're going to run off the end of the earth with this whole R-rated superhero thing because of him, which hopefully has died down a little bit, they do. Like Marvel lets Fox do all that stuff, I can get behind an R-rated Wolverine. I can get behind that, like a Wolverine standalone, but X-Men, no, it wouldn't work. Iron Man wouldn't work. So you let Disney do the big picture ones, do the big, giant box office, and let Fox be their R-rated little weird not
cousin,
yeah, Vertigo Comics, which is the DC offshoot,
Right.
who did like Sandman and stuff like that. Let Fox be the we're going to do all the gritty, experimental ones. I would be cool with that.
All right, we'll keep the Disney shareholders happy, by doing the R-rated stuff, not with them and out of the company.
Yeah, it's still Marvel. Let Marvel and Fox broker those
Right.
deals, but get your more gritty do your Swamp Thing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
DC.
I just recently looked online to see if they have a release, or not released it, but an opening date for Disneyland Star Wars. Nothing yet.
No.
I mean, they're starting construction, I think, next month, is what I hear.
I think they've started already.
Well,
I believe they've
have
started.
they broken ground already?
I believe so.
Okay.
Maybe, but that'll probably be to coincide with episode 8, I would think. So not this
That
year,
could be.
but next year. Late next year or the spring following. That would be my bet.
We are making a journey to California
Oh
for
yeah.
Star Wars.
Oh my
man.
goodness. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's an imperative. If I can walk on the Millennium Falcon, I'll just lay down and I'll be done. That's
You'll
all.
just be sitting there going, I
can't.
Yeah. But back to
BVS.
back to the menagerie.
Yeah.
Of, so we've we've gone over my peccadillos with the film.
The downside for me, the issues I have,
coming from a place where you've read this stuff, so you know more about
Right.
what's coming. So.
Well, the biggest complaint I have is the same complaint I had when I saw the very first images, which is they pulled basically from Dark Knight Returns and from Death of Superman. That's where Doomsday is from, and that's they pulled almost panels like Superman being all emaciated in space. And then
that's Snyder. He did the same thing with Watchmen.
That's different though. He was actually adapting that film, whereas this he cherry picked bits and pieces
from other places,
from other things.
But the habit of like finding panels,
which is
and going,
great.
Like,
Yeah. I'm totally
that's
down
the kind
with.
of thing where like it makes the fanboys who've read that like, oh, there it is,
Yeah.
and go awesome, and people like me who haven't go, that's a cool shot. And that's
Not
it.
knowing. Yeah, it's
exactly.
multi-level, and I
it
like
works
that.
on two levels, and that I've got mad respect for doing that.
Right. The issue I have is that the problem with pulling from those two books is those two books are set many years into the careers and friendship of Bruce and Clark. Okay, many years. Bruce is in Dark Knight Returns. He's in his 60s or whatever, and he's been Batman for 30 years, and it's Bruce and Clark. It's not meeting for the first time. Death of Superman, same thing. It's he's been Superman saving the world for X amount of years, and the gravitas of them fighting each other is not as much when it's the first meeting. It has a different resonance.
So in the comics, they've been friends for years, and then they have a battle.
Oh yes, yes. It's over a different thing. It's kind of the same thing in Dark Knight Returns. Superman has basically become a government puppet. Like he's still Superman, but he's still
Go over there and make those people pay.
Exactly. He answers to the president and is kind of stopped. He's not. I don't want to say he's not freelancing, but he's basically under orders. He's under contract.
He's given assignments to do
and
this
he's
and that.
do
It's
this,
not like,
do this.
I hear Jimmy's down the well.
Right.
Let's go get him.
And in the book, the president is actually Reagan, which is it's a very timely piece. And in Death of Superman, he's been Superman for many years, and so the parallels kind of work, with Bruce being like you're out of control, and like one of the seminal lines from that story of Dark Knight Returns is when he's in the big suit and he's beating the shit out of Clark, which that's what happens. It's he doesn't. I think he hits him with the. No, it's Ollie. Oliver Queen hits Clark with an arrow, the Green Arrow. I'm sorry, Green Arrow shoots Superman with a kryptonite
tip.
arrow. Yeah. Yep. So that kind of happens, but they didn't have a Green Arrow. And then a lot of those things with the guns popping up and just trying to weaken him and slow him down, and then beat the crap out of him in the suit. One of the seminal lines is the suit took a lifetime and a fortune to put together, and luckily I had both. And the other one is this is where you learn what it feels like to be beaten. This is where you learn what it feels like to be a man. And when Bruce beats the shit out of him, and it's just doing that at the beginning of the relationship, it changes the whole dynamic. It doesn't. It's different.
Not necessarily for the worse. Just for the different.
Yeah.
It definitely there's a lot more implied when two friends after 20 years of fighting crime all of a sudden like, oh, it's on now, motherfucker.
Yeah.
That is a lot different than you don't like you, me neither.
Right.
Let's fight.
And the justifications I'm fine with. Like
with what they did in the film.
In the film,
yeah. No, they set that up. That set that up
very well.
Fine.
And
it's just the problem is for Batman is that. When it comes time to fight Superman, if he ever has to again, he may not have all that prep time that he needs to set up guns and
that's
develop.
That's why he's Batman. He has to have that. He's always
right.
There's like I said, there's a comic. I forget what it's called, Tower of Babel, I believe, and then they did an animated movie of it called Doom, and somebody starts like targeting the members of the Justice League, and Batman says, "Yeah, they're targeting all your weaknesses because they found out whoever this, I forget who it is, they found out all your weaknesses." And they're like, "How did they do that?" He said, "Well, your weaknesses, they basically hacked into my computer and found my files on you guys." Because he had to keep tabs on everybody.
Exactly, because he's just a guy.
He's just a guy.
He's just a psychotic guy that turns his psychosis into actually doing some good.
In a way, I mean, he's breaking limbs and
Well, yeah, but I mean, he's fighting the bad guys.
Yeah, for the good.
Right. I mean, he's not.
Good.
There's a fine line really between the Joker and Batman, and they're two sides of the same fucking coin.
Oh yeah, it's just makeup is the difference, or the skin.
Makeup and where you focus your psychosis on.
Yeah.
I'm for anarchy. I'm for not anarchy.
Exactly, for order at least.
For order, yeah, exactly.
Well, I had watched Man of Steel happened to be on yesterday on FX, so I watched it as much as I could, the end of it, before going into this, and that was a really cool thing to see the scenes from different angles. When Bruce was talking to that guy in Wayne Tower, and you see the beams, that's General Zod like learning to use. I was like, they have that scene right in Man of Steel, so that kind of stuff was really well done as well. So
and again, if you had not seen Man of Steel, that didn't detract.
Yeah, they gave it to you. Yeah,
it's just like, all right, there they are. Things are going on. Okay, you don't have to have seen Man of Steel to get the full impact of that. It just it's a little more of a cool nerd boy nod, like, oh my god, there's the battle from the other angle.
Yeah,
awesome,
which is really cool. Like some shots right out of the same thing, and
if depending upon how they were planning it, they may have done some of that work for Batman versus Superman during Man of Steel. Like,
I don't believe they did.
No, they didn't have that.
No, because what I understand is Man of Steel. The Batman v Superman was basically supposed to be Man of Steel 2, and it was supposed to be the sequel. And somebody brought up, it must have been Snyder, who's which good on him, was like, we really got to get Batman in here, and it just kind of happened, and they just kind of retconned it and retroactively made it, which is great.
Yeah.
Which is great.
I didn't know if they did maybe like a Richard Donner situation where they filmed 1 and 2.
No,
okay.
Not even close. No, it was totally out of the blue that they did it.
Well, they had some pretty bad luck with their Superman relaunches. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, but
Superman
then again,
Returns was it's a tough watch.
Yeah.
And
hey, but you know what? Incredible Hulk, they took a couple times and they finally got it right.
Well, not till the Avengers.
right. But I mean, what I'm saying is that, it's like, all right, we did it bad once, they keep hacking at it until they get it right.
Right. Iron Man 2 is not great. I mean, it's okay. It's
what's that one?
That's one with Mickey Rourke and the whips and Whiplash and all that. And it's all right. It's not great.
Would you believe I don't think I have ever seen Iron Man 3.
That's great. It's a great movie.
That's the one with
Ben Kingsley
as the Mandalorian, right?
The Mandarin.
Yeah, not Mandalorian. No,
that would be great if he showed up.
Wow, that would be
Boba
awesome.
Fett.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be super cool. That'd be my God, a Star Wars Marvel crossover.
They own it.
Legally, it could happen.
Did you ever see Patton Oswalt's filibuster?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So that
someone actually did an animation of that,
all that stuff,
and I'm watching like, I want to see that. I want to see that. Yeah, totally. Like I think Han Solo and Tony Stark they'd get along really well. But yeah, that's one of those things like sequels to your favorite films from back in the like. I'm curious. I don't ever want that to happen.
Yeah.
Star Wars needs to stay Star Wars.
Oh yeah, they can't. They can't. Let's talk about the real polarizing thing in this movie.
Oh, what is the really the actual death of Superman?
No, that didn't. No, I'm talking about Jesse Eisenberg.
I hated his legs. It's like, look at me. I'm trying to be crazy. I'm doing the crazy thing. Yeah. I'm doing my lines like this. Why? Because I'm crazy. Did I mention I'm crazy? Craziness. I've got it. What about you?
He's one of those actors who just goes like,
and
if you don't rein him in, he'll do that.
He is good. And I mean, I liked him in The Social Network. He did well. I'm trying to think of something else I've seen him in. I up until this point, I've had a very favorable view of him as an actor. Like, not bad. It was just too much.
It was very much, yeah. Honestly, it was not as much as I thought it was going to be from the
okay.
trailer. He wasn't nearly as over the top.
Syllable word.
Okay, the way I can justify or at least digest what he did.
Yes.
He drops one line in his first scene where he says, "Oh, the Lex on the LexCorp, that's my father," and I was like, okay, he's going to be whatever this crazy thing is, and the big scary Lex Luthor is dead or whatever. So I was like, okay, if he's Alexander Luthor who's going to adopt the Lex and the bald head and all that, okay, I can live with that. He's not it's at least a backdoor into me not hating it is what it comes down to.
It's like, I'm looking for a way to give this to you.
Yeah.
All right, you gave me something.
They at least gave you that. So I was like, okay, all right,
right.
good enough for me. It gives me, I desperately want to love this movie. And I think what I do love about the movie is the potential. We're at least on good footing. It's a bad movie, but the pieces, the chess pieces that they have when somebody good gets a hold of them is going to be great. When Affleck does, because that's the huge rumor, is that's how they got him. They're like, we'll give you 3 solo Batman movies to write and direct yourself. When he gets his hands on it and he gets to do it because he's a huge Batman fan, I'm in. I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm in and down. Or if they even David Ayer, just who's doing Suicide Squad, let him do a Batman movie too. When we get those,
Affleck may want to just direct and act and leave someone
or at least
else to
write
in
it. Yeah,
but we know he can write.
we know he can write.
He's got an Oscar for it.
He's got an Oscar for it, and he's got an Oscar for directing, doesn't he? Or at least
Yes, he does. Argo.
Yeah.
Well, no, not for directing. It was a picture. Was it directing? I think it was Picture of the Year, and as a producer on it,
right,
he got the Oscar.
But he got did he get nominated? There was some whole.
He was nominated for directing Argo.
Yeah.
I don't think
he got the Golden Globe at least.
Yeah,
but anyway,
he's
directed.
He's
some
got
great
chops.
stuff. He's got.
Yeah.
So to see his movie, I'm so excited.
Yeah, and he didn't do bad in it. There wasn't a single time where I went, "Oh, Ben."
No,
except for there's the chin in the cowl, but. How are you going to be able to get away from that? It's his chin. What
right.
are you gonna
like
do?
I said, if you're unlucky enough to see that, he's usually going to be punching you, and it's going to be in the dark.
Right,
so
exactly.
that again, I can justify things.
All right. Yeah. I'm in. I'm a little amazed that Alfred seems to have developed a staggering array of skills. Lucius Fox doesn't exist in that, and Lucius.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know that.
Well, I mean. Let's face it, Alfred is doing some high-tech shit that Alfred usually does not do.
Depends on which book you read. They've kind of in the modern era, they've made Alfred XMI6 or whatever, and he's actually in the really new stuff. He's more of a Jason Statham type,
right?
He's way younger.
In the Gotham,
but even more so in some of the books and some of the
because we've had what was it? He's in everything. Michael Caine.
Caine.
That was more just like I'm here to help you and talk to you, but as far as doing any of the shenanigans, I kind of know what you're doing. I couldn't do that. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So this Alfred is kind of a mix of, you don't get the kick-assery, you get the snarky remarks and the more Lucius Fox type stuff. Just,
right.
working on his voice modulator.
Yeah. Well, he does need, he is complicit in this. He is.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is that his role is expanded in Batman versus Superman.
I bet we'll get a Lucius Fox. I bet we do get a Lucius Fox.
I'd like to have a little more information about the new Alfred's backstory.
Well,
not for lack of trying.
Yeah, exactly. He was great. I loved Jeremy.
Yeah, as soon as I heard Jeremy Irons was cast as Alfred, I went, oh, that's good.
That's good.
That's good casting.
Well, I one of the bright spots on Gotham for me is Sean Pertwee, who's playing Alfred. Literally, I think his first line of dialogue was, "Oi, get off the roof!" When he starts yelling at Bruce.
He's a Cockney scrapper who was in the British military or Secret Service, or I can't remember exactly what his deal was.
Yeah, MI6 or whatever.
But he's and he left it all aside, put it all aside
to work for the Waynes.
To work for the Waynes, and it works out really well. It serves the young Bruce Wayne really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just interested to see I mean, obviously, we are years and years and years and years away from that current Bruce Wayne being able to be Batman in films.
It'll never happen.
I think the film will the TV will run its course. I mean, even in 10 years, I mean, that's what they did with Smallville, and they still wouldn't give Tom Welling, the cape and the suit
no,
to
they didn't even
be
show
in the
him
film.
No.
So
And you didn't even really see him in the suit ever.
No.
At all.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if that's like a copy thing, well, you can do that, but the suit is something we don't want to.
No,
give you.
I don't think it was that at all. I think it was they made that conceit right at the top. Like the tagline for the show when it launched was no tights, no flights. And I think they were beholden to that, and which poor choice in my opinion. But I don't think Gotham's going to last long enough to get that far.
No, because I mean the kid, I'm going to say conservative. What, he's 16 now? Maybe not even that old.
I don't think so. I think he maybe 15 at this point. Maybe
we'll call it 15. If it lasts 25, if it lasts 10 seasons like Smallville did, that puts him only at 25 as Batman. That's still too young.
It's too young. Well, to be they could go year one with it and have him like learning to be Batman, which I could get with, but I don't think Gotham's going to last that long. I mean, they'll get maybe 2 more seasons out of it. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's doing that great. We fell off this season. We watched a couple and haven't kept up
I'm
with
completely caught up, except the most recent one, which apparently has Paul Rubens coming in as the Penguin's father,
which is great.
Which is Cassie. Oh, speaking of Paul Rubens, have you seen the new Pee-wee?
Not yet. We haven't watched it yet.
Oh my gosh!
Was it great?
Was
it good at least?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. There's a cameo in there. You're like, is that who I think that is?
Oh, okay.
My gosh, that is.
All right, don't spoil that.
No, I'm not going to spoil anything. The takeaway for me on the new Pee-wee is like, this could have been filmed 20 years ago, released today. He looks exactly.
Yeah, he sure does.
I mean, maybe a tiny little bit of crinkling around the eyes,
Not much,
maybe.
though.
But that's it. I don't know if that's just makeup or special effects to smooth him out. It's possible.
No, I've seen him on interviews. He looks great.
He looks just like he did when Tim Burton directed him.
Yep.
And they tried to emulate that kind of Pee-wee's Big Adventure style a bit. Not quite succeeding.
Well, that's the cool thing about him being on Gotham was in Batman Returns with the Danny DeVito in the opening scene, he plays Oswald Cobblepot's father.
Yep.
And little tie-in, little callback to that is wonderful, Yep. But like I said, the Greg Berlanti with the CW shows, he does that all the time.
He's like I'm a nerd boy. Oh, I'm going to do this. It's going to make people freak out.
It's a meta nerd thing because, like I said, the Flash show in the 90s, John Wesley Shipp was Barry Allen. He was the Flash. Right. He plays
the father.
Yeah. On Supergirl, her parents are Helen Slater, who is Supergirl, and Dean Cain, who was Superman. And there's always, and they just announced that the next season. Well, that's why I think it's getting renewed, Supergirl, because they said,
I'm not saying that it's not. It's just CBS did not announce that they were renewing it, along with all these other shows. I went, that's curious.
The rumor is that they cast the President of the United States, who is a woman, who would be the best, perfect woman to be President of the United States on Supergirl in the DC mythos.
Oh, God, not Faye Dunaway.
No, better.
In the Supergirl myth, I may not.
Well, in the DC myth.
In the well, then I don't know.
Linda Carter.
Oh,
that's the kind of thing he does all the time. He's so great with that kind of stuff.
Nice.
Well, he had a couple of episodes of The Flash with Mark Hamill, who's not only the Joker, but on the original Flash, he was the Trickster, and he came back as the Trickster. And he was in jail for 30 years or 25 years.
Yeah,
he actually figured out a way to have a scene with him and Barry's father, kind of like this multi-layered dialogue of here we go again kind of thing. It was amazing. It was so great. So
that is called fan service.
Exactly.
That is major fan service
in a good show.
Yeah.
Made to work properly.
Right.
That's the problem with, I think, with Batman Superman.
As we were talking about, if I had no idea that that Mark Hamill had been the trickster before or anything like that,
You didn't need to.
you didn't have to. It's just a bonus for people who know that.
Yeah, yeah, it's
just
another
like seeing Linda Carter as the president. If you never knew she was Wonder Woman, you're just like, there's another actress doing a thing, and it works for. I appreciate that. That's where not as far as casting in Batman versus Superman, but just in storytelling, there was stuff in there that was strictly fanboy service and made no fucking sense to anybody else.
Right. And I think that was just a definite choice. Like,
Do you think they just said, listen, we got to get
we
this
have
in
to
this
go
film.
to our core audience. We have to give the fans what they want, and we hope everyone else goes along. Everyone knows who Batman and Superman are. We got to go deep, and we got to hook the nerds. And unfortunately, the nerds have not been kind.
Oh, I've heard nothing, but I haven't read any actual reviews, but just the headlines, it has like 28% on Rotten Tomatoes, and no one really...
I disagree. I mean, it's like I said, it is a mess, but it's promising, and it's made almost $500 million this weekend.
Oh, it's a success. I mean,
it's a huge success.
We knew it was going to be
so
a
we're
success.
Safe. Like we're getting more. There's no way. And Suicide Squad is going to be enormous. Suicide Squad is going to.
I would like to see
crush.
Suicide Squad do Guardians numbers.
I'm thinking it does. That trailer alone was genius. That second one with because that first one was really cool, but it was like the real trippy music, and it was real dark. And this one was like
With the Queen?
We're gonna have fun. We're gonna joke around, and this is gonna be fun. And
Joke around, huh?
joke around, huh? And Affleck is Batman definitely is in it. We know that for sure. And
Just, whether it's going to be...
it's only a small cameo. I know that, but I like there was scenes of him on top of Joker's car punching or at least the stuntman in the bat suit.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's like, we're never going to show his face, so, we'll get Phil over it from, stunt
or
casting.
just a digi-double, we'll just CG him right on top of it.
Yeah, what did you think about the CGI on Doomsday?
It wasn't as... It was better than it was in the trailer. They got time to finish it, but
I really want to have battles with non-CGI baddies.
Yeah,
I'm really honestly fucking sick of that.
Yeah, and still too much destruction. Way too much destruction.
Yeah, in the real world, they're talking, yes, people would rally to Superman as some kind of the second coming of God or whatever. And also there'd be people going, hey, maybe you let Zod take us over because you destroyed the whole fucking city. So what were you fighting for?
But even in this, I mean...
20,000 people dead and $7 trillion of damage.
Yeah.
Whoop-de-fucking-do. So
you couldn't slow the guy down without destroying half the city.
Well,
there was
like,
some... Yeah.
Hey, I got to go get the spear. Here, let me drag the monster to my city so I can... You couldn't just go and get it and then come back really quick.
Yeah.
I just,
The whole...
In the film, though.
Yeah. Well, no, it would have been a bad...
Like, where's your big...
It would have been a
big
Batman
fight?
move. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought the same thing.
It was kind of dumb having Lois get it.
It was like, oh gosh, there's the spear. I'm going to put it down here. I
mean-
went, that's going to come back to bite somebody. And sure enough,
Yeah.
she's down there like, okay. And now she's trapped under.
See, I thought it was like we weren't going to see what she did with it, and then it was going to be a last minute show up kind of thing. But I was wrong.
No, as soon as she threw it down there, I said, that's going to become a problem for later on
Yep.
because we know that Doomsday is of, Kryptonian genealogy.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to need something. And I'm guessing a little spray of powder is not going to be enough to take out Doomsday. So
Right.
it's going to have to be the spear. And she threw it down there. And it's not going to be like, oh, let me reach it and grab it again. No problem.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't going to happen. So I think they needed that so that Lois and Clark removed Superman and
Yeah.
Lois removed from the action could have that I love you where he's
I'm
having that
You were my
scene
world.
because they had to have like I'm fighting, oh hold it, I'm about to die, excuse me a second, I'm gonna go say
Well, he
I
had to
love you
have-
to my girl.
He had to have the sacrifice.
He had to have the
moment.
justification
Yeah.
for that scene, so I understand why they did it. It's just it was I'm really disappointed when films telegraph so far in advance, like, yep, that's
Yeah.
going to come back.
Oh,
and
yeah,
sure
yeah,
enough, it does.
yeah.
And sometimes you can't avoid it. I mean, it's you know,
storytelling. You have
I
to
mean,
do it. You know, it's
I mean,
very
I
hard.
could see the screenwriter going, "All right, motherfucker, how would you have written it?" You're like,
Exactly.
"Well,
hmm.
yeah, I guess you did what you had to do." Like, that's right. So shut the fuck up, fanboy.
Well, I do want to say a couple of things that I really loved in
Sure,
the,
and there were some cool scenes. It's not like I hated the whole thing all the way
Yeah.
through. There was a lot of really cool scenes, but it was like a smattering.
Yes.
Like, oh, that's awesome, and now
honestly,
this bullshit.
And honestly, a lot of it they gave away in the trailers. Like that last trailer that they had a hook us showed that whole Batman fight at the end when he was going after Martha. They showed almost the whole fight, and it was like, give me I want 45 minutes of that. That's Batman being Batman, and
And we know what Batman's kryptonite is. Talk about his dead mother.
parents, yeah.
And you know what? Up until that very moment, it never occurred to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're both named Martha.
They are both named Martha.
Which freaked me out
Thomas and
because
Martha Wayne,
guess
yeah.
what? My mother's name
Was it Martha?
Martha. So I'm just sitting there going, whoa. I'm having a moment. Okay.
Yeah.
Carry on. I guess that's the way to get into Batman's head is through his
yeah.
parents, because that's the source of his whole
That's why
Batman.
exactly.
You know, without them dying, he might have just grown up and been a certified public accountant and be
He
born-
would have been a lush playboy, you know.
He would have been Arthur.
Exactly. He would have been Tony Stark, is what he would have been.
Yeah,
you know,
well, yeah.
with less
Could
of a
you imagine
purpose.
a cross between Tony Stark and Arthur? Like, come here, Alfred, give me another Yeah, exactly. Anyway, you were saying the things you liked.
And I was watching it going, they had to have done this on purpose. In that said fight, there were, I want to say, 3 moves that were directly out of the Arkham video games. And I was like, he just did the Bat Claw Slam, and he did the inverted takedown. You know, in the game you can. There are different kinds of missions. There are jump in and beat a whole bunch of people up. There are stealth missions where there are guys with guns where you have to take them out systematically, quietly, which is so cool about the game. And one of the things you can do is you're on top of a gargoyle, and if a guy walks below you, you can hang upside down and like scoop him up and then tie him up and then, disappear. It's called the inverted takedown. And they did that, kind of. And then one of the moves.
Or they cross over with Spider-Man. He hangs down and he kisses the bad guy on the mouth.
Man, he don't do that. He kisses him with his fist.
And then a poison ivy tie-in, and he kisses him, and then he drops dead because of the point fight. Whoa, I'm getting all mad all over myself.
And I did like the maneuver where he was chasing them in the Batmobile, dragging that other car behind him, and basically like pinged it off onto that was pretty cool. And taking an alternate route and coming off the roof across
the semi
total
truck.
Batman move. So that stuff was great.
And Batman's like, "Hey, this is Batman. I'm in a truck.
I'm in a truck." Yeah, exactly.
What car is this? It's the Batmobile. Hey, this is Commissioner Gordon. This is in the Batmobile. I'm in a truck.
Speaking of Commissioner Gordon,
no Gordon in this.
No, not in this. He's cast for. They're saying for the Justice League movie, so we are getting.
But I hope we have at least one standalone Batman before we go to Justice League. Oh, come on!
Not yet.
Don't rush.
Well,
don't rush. God damn it! Don't.
The rumor
rush.
is they might be shuffling stuff around, but they.
I mean, are you with me on this? They need to establish these characters before.
What I think
otherwise, Justice League is going to be like half establishing everybody and then half the actual.
Well, they're doing 2 movies, and from what I understand, it's going to be next year. It's Wonder Woman, Flash, maybe. There's 2 standalones.
I know Marvel has like their calendar until we're dead.
Well, like I said, I think they're shuffling
DC
stuff
needs
around
to-
still.
right,
But this year it was Batman, Superman, and Suicide Squad. Next year it's, I want to say Flash and Wonder Woman.
Right.
And then the year after that it's Justice League Part 1 and something going And then the year after that,
Aquaman.
yeah, I think it's Aquaman.
It's gotta be Aquaman.
And then it's maybe Cyborg. I'm not sure. They're going to get another standalone, and then Justice League Part 2. So they're
I just don't
they're
want them
gonna
to
rush.
rush.
Well, they're gonna. They're gonna.
All right, you know what? Maybe it'll work in their favor. Like, oh, I see what they
But
did
again,
there. Nice.
I'm hearing rumors that they're starting the Batman solo flick now. Like it's in pre, and they're going
good,
for it.
Good.
But
cast as Commissioner Gordon. Who? Am I going to know this person?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, good.
And it's a good choice.
Ooh.
It's a really good choice.
Ooh.
And he has dipped his toe in the Marvel universe. He's coming over the wall.
Ryan Reynolds. No,
No,
I have no idea.
J.K. Simmons.
Oh, nice.
Pretty cool. Yeah, he was J. Jonah Jameson in the
the
Spider-Man movies,
Spider-Man.
in the Sam Raimi movies, and they
And
tapped
he
him.
he is a motherfucker of an actor.
Can you imagine?
Have you seen Oz?
No,
He plays an inmate in Oz, like an Aryan, a Nazi, a white supremacist in there. Where while I was watching that, I was also watching him as a psychologist on Law and Order, and I was just like, my brain could not comprehend these two nice, soft-spoken guy on Law and Order, and this twisted, and I mean, the vindictively sadistic prisoner on Oz.
You know who Billy West is, right? The voice actor,
right.
Stimpy, and all that stuff. He said he
By
tells
my
us,
shiny metal ass.
No, that's DiMaggio. He's not.
Oh.
He's not Bender. He's Fry and.
He's the other. Okay,
and
there
Dr.
you go.
Zoidberg and all that. But he tells a great story. He said he came home one day and his wife was watching Oz, and she paused it or whatever and was pointing at J.K. Simmons, and she goes, "That guy can't be an actor. That's got to be a real criminal because that guy's out of his mind and that guy's great." And Billy West said he doubled over and started laughing, and she goes, "What are you laughing at?" He goes, "That's the yellow M&M."
And the guy from Farmers. Bum,
Yeah.
bum, 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 bum,
He is
bum.
now, but yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, that guy is the definition of range. And even though I still have not seen, I want to say, is it Whiplash?
Yeah, we haven't either. I can't wait.
When I saw the slate, I went, no, Simmons. I saw some clips, and I went, I just know what he can do. Just, he needs that award. Because
there
that
was no
guy
doubt
is
he was going to win.
fucking
There was
amazing actor.
And he, from what I understand, he went up on his acceptance speech was pretty much, "I want to thank my wife and my family for supporting me for all these years," and that's it. He didn't like kowtow to his people,
agent, his publicist, his wham.
He said, "I want to say thank you to my family for supporting me," and just like super class act dude. But he's going to be a killer Jim Gordon. Killer.
Nice.
I mean, Gary Oldman was.
Yeah.
He did okay.
He was great.
And Gary Oldman is another one of those actors who's just absolutely brilliant.
He's a
in
tough
just
act to
about
follow,
everything.
but Simmons, man, he can do it. He can pull it off.
Oh yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. I'm
I'm down. I'm so totally
I'm
down.
feeling good about that.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
And continuing on with some of the interesting stunt casting.
Yeah.
I hear for the role of Darkseid, they are going to cast.
Medication time. Medication time.
We ran out of time. I will tell you next week.
The 9 Billion Names of Pod was conceived, written, and performed by Michael Reed and Dan Bowman, with Abdul Beni Hassan as the sound of splintering wood. Research, transportation, and exasperated looks by Courtney Loner. Technical assistance by Cubase, Pro Tools, Skynet, QLab, Deep Thought, Big Brother, and Eddie, your shipboard computer. Financial consideration provided by the Wayne Foundation, Stark Industries, the Piranha Brothers, and LexCorp. Legal counsel by the offices of Howard, and Fine. Mercy Graves, we hardly knew ye. Our intro music was written by Tim Akers. This podcast was sponsored by Deep Shag Records and is a production of Audio Primate. Throw us a couple stars on iTunes, why don't you? Check us out on dadsgarageradio.net. Listen to us on YouTube. Listen on SoundCloud. Stream us on Stitcher. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Or email us, comlink@billionpod.com. Until this happens again, I'm Dan Bauman.
I'm Michael Reed.
LOZ.